الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Assalamu alaikum, brothers. So I'm gonna get straight into it, and the title of the talk was "The Man That Delayed Meeting the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam." Now this goes back to the seerah. After the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had migrated to Medina, different tribes embraced Islam, and they sent delegations to go meet the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in Medina. This one tribe called Abdul tribe, they sent a delegation to Medina because they had embraced Islam. And when they arrived in Medina, they were so excited they couldn't contain themselves. They jumped off their mounts and they ran towards the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And it wasn't an unusual thing, because many people within the Arabian Peninsula were very interested, because this man is claiming Nabuwah, prophethood. So they were interested in to meet who's this man claiming prophethood. Just like especially the Christians and the Jews, because in the scriptures talked about a prophet coming. So this tribe was a little different. They were excited. The men jumped off and rushed towards the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, except for one man. And his name was Mundhir al-Shajjaj. He got off his ride, and he had actually brought with him his best foe. And he changed his clothing, and he removed any signs of dirt or looked presentable. Then he went to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam noticed this, and he said to him, "Inna fika khaslataini yuhibbuhum Allah, al-hilmu wal-ana." So in you are two traits that Allah loves both. The first is al-hilm, which is to have self-restraint when you're angry or emotional, and forbearance. And the second trait is ana, which is to think calmly about your decisions and making the most effective decision. So this man, the reason why he was praising this man is because he displayed these two things. Instead of rushing towards the Prophet, he took his time. He knew he was meeting the Prophet of Allah. Let me look the best I can. So for his calm decision making, he was praised. So now, if we look at these two things and apply it to our lives, we can pick up many examples, different aspects we can apply it to. So for example, when it comes to, let's say, parenting. I'm not a parent myself, but I can see how other brothers and parents, when it comes to their children. Children may behave in a certain way. For example, kids might muck around, start messing around, playing together, like today. And you see in some parents, their response, especially you see it's very common in the Asian community, to start reprimanding, shouting, or even beating their kids just for playing. They have no patience, or instead of actually stopping for a second and thinking, hold on a sec, they're kids, we should allow them to play. Of course there's boundaries, but if they're within the boundaries, it's okay. Like when I was a child, me and my brother would watch WWF wrestling. We'll see the wrestlers doing different moves, like stunner or suplex or choke slam, and we would try to replicate the same thing in our house, me and my brother. And we're just mucking around. We're not harming each other, but some parents or fathers would be quick to shout at the kids, "What are you doing? Why am I still playing around for?" But it's normal. Instead of calmly thinking about the situation, this is normal for a child to act like this. Or if you're thinking another example where we apply this calm thinking and restraining ourselves, self-restraint. Let's look at the issue of Palestine. When it initially, October the 7th, when it kicked off, Muslims on Muslims, when we saw the genocide, invasion, everyone was coming out. People were going crazy, emotions were high, protesting, everything. Boycott, every solution was coming out. Anything they could think of, they would say, let's do it. You saw it was all there. But then, amongst that energy and emotion, did actually anyone do the opposite and stop to think, oh, what's going on in Gaza? What is the issue? Is this the correct solution? So take, for example, people say, let's boycott Israeli products. But what is the issue? Is that the solution to the problem that the Palestinians are facing? And if you look at any other solution that the people come up with and they've implemented, well, let's be critical. It's, what, more than 8 months, and Israelis are still pressing forward with their genocide. Everything you can think of, the Ummah has done. Boycotting, protesting, calling on Western governments, the UN, university encampments for defunding of Israeli companies. But which of these solutions have actually solved the problem for the Palestinians? Realistically, zero. They've had little change. Okay, let's take boycotting. It's been reported that Israelis have lost billions in revenue. McDonald's, Coca-Cola have lost billions. But realistically, it doesn't mean nothing. Why? Because Israel is getting funded. You see, month after month, you see an article coming out. The US is giving a new funding to the Israeli government. They're selling arms. The UK is selling arms. Many Western other nations are selling arms. So how has your boycott actually given the desired outcome? If the Ummah, if the Muslim community sat back and thought, how do we actually change the situation in Palestine? Instead of acting on impulse, going back to the incident I mentioned about the hadith from Sallallahu where he praised the man, where was the calm and self-restraint thinking? If you look at the issue of Palestine, the issue is of occupation. And there's only one solution that can actually solve their problem. And it's a military intervention from the surrounding Muslim nations. We should be calling on the nations, Jordan, Egypt, Turkey. They have their capability, yet they do nothing. And in some cases, they're selling even more to Israel. The exports have gone up to Israel, giving them airspace, giving them or anything else, other support. Now, let's say when it comes to the aid, I see day after day, charities are still asking for donations for Palestine food packs. But if you look at the ground, what's going on, the aid's stuck at the borders. In some cases, the Israeli government are blocking the crossing between Egypt, Rafah and Gaza. So the aid's not getting there. So what has the aid done? It's sick. Now, if we keep thinking of another example, let's say applying this self-restraint and calm thinking, take when it comes to elections. Again, we might see on WhatsApps, family members, people we know, they're promoting, especially in the Muslim community, promoting certain individuals, MPs, vote for this person. We need to vote the Labour out, the party of genocide, or we need to vote for this candidate because they're Muslim, or let's try to snub the Labour Party in this area by voting for another party. Well, if you're trying to seek change within the West, that isn't a bad thing. But if you look at the means, trying to participate in the Western government, the voting, that doesn't achieve much. You vote for independent, or you vote for someone from a different party, they come into as the MP for that constituent. But how much change can you really bring? They might bring a small benefit to the Muslim community by promising a big mosque or some other stuff I've heard. But if we're talking about changing the situation, if it comes to actually, I see people promoting, oh, this MP is a pro-Palestinian person, let's vote for him. What can that MP really change? One person, is he going to actually change the Western foreign policy towards Gaza, towards sending aid, weapons to Israel? That one MP can't make change, or two, three, however many you add. Because the whole system as a whole is a problem. It's like trying to go into a casino and someone thinks, oh, this place is corrupt, but let me try and get a dealer that's fair in, and he's going to help me. Well, guess what? You bring that dealer in, and he starts helping the people that come to play. The casino's not going to allow that. They're trying to make money off the people that come. They're going to remove him. It's the same with the system. You vote, even if you get someone sincere that comes into power in this country, either they'll conform, they'll toe the party line, or they'll get removed. It's happened in the past with Jeremy Corbyn. When he started espousing socialist ideas, you already see the media, other parties, even within the Labour, were very critical of him because of these ideas he had. Even though he may seem like a sincere person and he wants to change for the better the UK, but realistically, like I said, the system won't change. The system will either filter him out, will either straighten him out, or remove him. So, when we look at the UK and the West, we're always bombarded with these ideas of acting on impulse. As soon as you have an emotion, to go out and relieve that emotion, whatever that emotion leads to. Whereas here, where the Prophet was praising the man for being calm and restraining his emotions. We don't see that much in today's reality. And when we try to apply this to I gave you a few examples, you can apply it to anything in your life. Expand it to other problems. The Ummah, the Muslim world, if you look at the situations right now, it's facing many problems. So then, why don't we apply this same methodology and look at the situation and think about, actually, how do we solve all these problems that we're facing? In the Muslim world, you have corruption, you have poverty, you have Western interference, and many other things that are going on. Poor education, and the list goes on. So, how do you go about solving these problems? Well, one thing we should start by doing is actually looking at the problem, trying to understand what the issue is, before just jumping up to solutions. Like I gave the example of Gaza, people jumped up, let's do this X, Y, Z. Instead of thinking about the problem and trying to find the correct solution for the problem. So, inshallah, I'll end my talk there. It was a short Nasihah. And I just wanted to talk about that story about Prophet and that man. So inshallah we'll open up for any questions or Q&A.